Welcome to the How to Play Hogger Logger tutorial. Hogger Logger is a fun family card game where players try to correctly guess whether a face-down number card is higher or lower than a face-up number card, or in the world of lumberjacking pigs, Hogger or Logger. The players can play cards from their hand anytime to change the odds. For each round, place 4 number cards face down onto the table side by side in a straight line. Then place 1 number card face up directly above or below that line. This card is referred to as the current card. Next, deal each player 3 cards from the numbers deck. These cards make up each player's hands. Go ahead and look at them now. Finally, randomly determine the first guesser. The goal for the guesser is to correctly guess whether one of the face-down number cards is higher or lower than the face-up number card by verbally declaring Hogger or Logger. Once the guesser makes their guess, they reveal a face-down card of their choice. If they guess correctly, their turn continues. Otherwise, the player to their left becomes the guesser. And everyone with 0 cards in their hand draws a number card. If the revealed card is the same as the current card, it is an incorrect guess. Whether the guess is right or wrong, place the revealed card on top of the current card and it becomes a new current card. If you guess the last remaining face-down card correctly, you win the round and collect a victory card. Collect the most victory cards and you win the game. But before the guesser can flip over the next card, players can play number cards from their hand directly on top of the current card to change the odds. For example, if the current card is a 9 and you play a 15, the guesser is now guessing whether the face-down card of their choice is Hogger or Logger than the card you just played. Cards can be played whenever you want at any point during the round, even when you're the guesser. There's no limit to the number of cards that can be played from your hand, and the guesser can change their guess whenever they want. But before revealing the next card, they must give all players a fair chance to play cards. Here's an example of the first 2 guesses of a single round. I'm the first guesser and the current card is a 12. Since the numbers deck ranges from 1 to 15, I've got pretty good odds in guessing Logger. Nobody plays a card, so I guess Logger and flip over one of the cards in the line. Since I guessed incorrectly, it's now my opponent's turn to guess whether one of the remaining 3 face-down cards is Hogger or Logger than the 13. My opponent plays a 15 and guesses Logger. But then I play a 6 and my opponent changes his guess to Hogger. Nobody else plays a card, so my opponent flips over a face-down card in the line and reveals a 14. My opponent guessed correctly, so it remains his turn to guess. One of the 5 copies of each number card has a draw number label and text on it. After you play these special number cards, you draw a card from the numbers deck. All 5 copies of the 8s have a special draw action label and text on it. After you play these special number cards, you draw a card from the action deck. Action cards are powerful cards that allow you to perform a variety of abilities, including drawing cards, stealing cards, rotating players' hands, and more. There are 2 ways to draw action cards: by playing an 8 and matching up. Matching up occurs when you play the same number on top of the same number. Each time you match up, you draw an action card. If you have 2 or more cards of the same value in your hand, you can play them simultaneously to match up. If you match up with an 8, you draw 2 action cards, 1 for matching up and 1 for playing an 8. Action cards can be played from your hand at any time during the game. Their actions must be completed before any other card can be played. All action cards are placed into a separate discard pile after they are used. When the guesser correctly guesses the last remaining face-down card, that player wins the round and draws a victory card. If the guesser incorrectly guesses the last remaining face-down card, the round continues. Place the top card from the numbers deck face down onto the table and continue playing as normal. Repeat this process until somebody wins the round. And don't forget, anytime there's an incorrect guess and you have 0 cards in your hand, draw from the numbers deck. The number of victory cards required to win Hogger Logger is 4 victory cards for a 2-player game, 3 victory cards for a 3-player game, and 2 victory cards for a 4 to 6-player game. After each round, place all cards that were dealt into 2 discard piles, 1 for action cards and 1 for number cards. This includes all unused cards in players' hands. Deal a new round with the remaining cards. When there are no more cards to deal, shuffle the discard pile. The guesser for the next round is the player to the left of the winner. Here's the ending of a 3-player round of Hogger Logger, starring Amy, Bob, and Chad. Bob is the guesser. The current card is a 15, and there's only one card remaining in the line of face-down cards. Bob guesses Logger, but then Amy plays a 6. Bob plays a 2, and changes his guess to Hogger. Chad plays a 9, but Bob plays a special 5. And he happens to draw another 5. He immediately plays it, matching up, so he draws an action card. Draw 2, and plays that as well, drawing a 7 and a 4. He plays the 4 and declares Hogger, but Amy also plays a 4 and draws an action card. Bob asks if anyone wants to play a card, and everyone declines. So Bob flips over the last face down card and reveals a 14. Bob correctly guessed Hogger, so he wins the round and draws a victory card. And now you're ready to play Hogger Logger. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and read our Hogger Logger blogger at hoggerlogger.com. So make your guess, knock on wood, and go hog wild in this exciting game of highs and lows.